I would like to speak to you about interreligious dialogue and how I went into this field. I believe it is not so much I, but the spirit which drove me into this field and continues to prod me to go deeper and deeper into this field of interreligious dialogue. As a young boy, I was brought up as a good, traditional, pious Christian boy who was told that only Christianity can take you to heaven and the others are damned, or at best they go to a dark room. But in the Christian school where I did my early schooling, most of my teachers were Hindus, especially Saivites. One of them stand out in particular, Mr. Vaidyanathan, my mathematics teacher. He was always immaculately clad, and this person himself was immaculate. It occurred to me already at that young age that Vaidyanathan cannot go to hell or to the dark room. He surely finds a place with God or in God. But as a traditional Christian boy, I went on with my thoughts. Then I did my religious training, and in my very first year, I was about 18 or 19 years of age, when my rector of the National Seminary, Kandy, where I studied, doing a class on educational psychology, said, extra ecclesiam nulla salus is not the doctrine of the church. I was completely startled. He went on to describe to us how in 1949 a Jesuit priest by the name of Leonardo Fini made this proposition, extra ecclesiam nulla salus. The church shut up, and Pope Pius XII, who was then the Pope, wrote to the Archbishop of Boston and asked him to ask Father Feeney to withdraw that statement. But Father Feeney was adamant. Ultimately, the Pope has to excommunicate him. The man who said there is no salvation outside the church now finds himself outside the church. So ended my rector with a sardonic smile. This for me was music to my ears. After all, there is salvation for persons outside the church. Mr. Vaidyanathan certainly will find himself with God or in God, I said to myself. I went on with my studies, and in my second year of theology, my professor of dogmatic theology, Father Dalston Forbes, teaching a sacramental theology, said, non-Christian religions are sacraments of God. This was something very, very sweet to my ears. From that time onwards, I never looked back. I always held the view that God saves all people. But at that time, I clung on to this fulfillment theory that all the religions must find their fulfillment in Christianity. But as years rolled by, I had the opportunity of coming in contact with the famous Indian theologian, Father Felix Wilfred. He gave me a little spark. Christians want to think that Holy Spirit is their own monopoly. Jesus Christ gave them the Holy Spirit so that they may continue his mission on earth. But Father Felix said this is a very narrow vision where pneumatology is seen, the science of the Holy Spirit is seen as a function of Christology. And he proposed a broader vision of Christology in function of pneumatology. Here, the Holy Spirit himself gives birth to Jesus and his disciples and orientates them towards the universal communion of the kingdom, which the same Holy Spirit is performing in the heart of humanity. This is a broader vision where all religions have a place in the plan of God, and all religions are able to bring salvation to its followers, and all can find communion in him. Even those who do not profess a particular religion in particular but follow an ideology, but those whose lives are characterized by the kingdom values find a place in God, in the kingdom.